You may not be experiencing that grace and peace in your life, and here's why. Because your life is out of order. Corinth was failing and doing everything in the correct order. Here's point one, I'm so proud of it. God's grace is out of order when our pace is out of order. When we come to worship together, are we thinking, what am I coming to bring? The natural sequence, the natural order that we have in our world is get and then give. They had the culture, the same culture we have here is I need to get ahead, I need to be the best, I need to be successful, and how could I possibly be giving? Because that means I'm missing out on something. We think talent is a permission slip to see the process and just press skip. And so God works on our hearts, and some of you guys are unbelievably talented, but he is making you wait for a reason and for a purpose. They had a word and they want to speak it right away, but God says, no, I'm giving you a word and then I want it to be planted and I want that seed to be buried. I want to feel like you think that vision has died. And right when you think that vision has died, then life will spring up and I will give you an opportunity. Read all throughout Scripture. God gives the birth of a vision, then he gives the death of a vision, but then he resurrects that vision in you. That is how God works on us. And it's so good. So the question is, what's the order that you're following? But also Corinth was failing and following God's orders correctly. God's peace does not fit when you refuse to submit. This may not fully make sense to me, but I follow you, God, even when it doesn't make sense to me, because here's the reality, guys. If you only follow God when it makes sense to you, you're not following God, you're following yourself. God's peace comes our way when we do it his way. God's will isn't confusing. It's that you really believe his ways are confining. You know why we read his word daily? You know why we're in groups? Is because we're fighting, waging war against the flesh and realizing the Spirit is the one with wisdom. And if I follow man's ways, it leads to discord. It leads to no peace. It leads to no grace. But following his way by the Spirit empowering me, I experience that grace. I experience that peace. But here's the good news. Because if I stop there, you can think, okay, I have to leave here. I need to make sure to do everything in the right order. And I need to make sure I follow all of God's orders right. Jesus did all of those things in your place. Oh, I hope this is hitting. Jesus did everything in the right order, and Jesus followed all of God's orders rightly. So how is that good news for us? When we believe in him and say, Jesus, I need you because my life is out of order. I have no grace in my life. I have no peace in my life. And it's because everything I do is out of order. I'm not patient. I don't trust in you, God. And I try to skip the steps. I hear what you tell me to do, but it doesn't sound good. It doesn't feel good. So I don't follow what you tell me to do. What God is calling us to do here is to lay that down at God's feet and saying, God, I need to follow your orders and I want to do everything in order. And the only way I can do that is to let Jesus Christ do it for me. This is the gospel. Listen. When you believe in Jesus, when God looks at you, he sees you as somebody who's done everything in the right order and as somebody who has followed all of his orders rightly.